Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pankum langayate grim yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Marani Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gauranitai Ki Jai. Samaved Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Let's continue our discussion on the 19th chapter of Madhya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Last week we were discussing about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's visit to Adaila Grama, the residence of Vallabhacharya. And after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returns back to Prayag, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spends 10 days instructing Srila Rupa Gosvami. And we were discussing how Vedavyasa, when he compiled the scriptures, he just took one instance of the glorification from the mouth of Anantasesh and elaborated it as Puranas, Upanishads and everything. Unlimitedly, Anantasesh, which is the serpent bed on which Lord Vishnu is residing, he glorifies Lord Vishnu in unlimited ways. He just took what he said in a second, and that's what we see as all these different Vedic scriptures. So 10 days is actually a long time. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Rupa Goswami on so many different aspects of bhakti. Today we'll see a very high overview, but from next week onwards we'll be going in detail on each one of them. So, this particular section which we are going to see today, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, before he dives deep into the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami, first he glorifies Rupa Goswami himself. How he was the fortunate recipient of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. If you read the purports of these 20 verses which we are going to see today, you will see the intimate connection between Krishna and his devotees. You will see the intimate connection between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees. If we chant Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name, if we worship Lord Chaitanya, what do we get? What do we stand to get? We'll see that today. Lord Chaitanya empowers Srila Rupa Goswami. There are different topics which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowers Srila Rupa Goswami in. First topic is about Krishna Tattva. Krishna Tattva means the unlimited limit of the glories of Lord Sri Krishna. We usually hear about Lord Sri Krishna. When we think about Krishna, we think, okay, Krishna plays flute. Anything more, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. But there is so much more about Lord Krishna which we don't know. So, on this aspect of Krishna Tattva, you will see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu elaborating in greater detail, greater depth to Srila Rupa Goswami. And you will see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu extending it further when he instructs Rupa Goswami's elder brother, which is Sanatana Goswami, later on the same topic. So, Krishna Tattva. Second topic he covers is Bhakti Tattva, the truth about devotional service. Bhakti is there. How is Bhakti going to work on us? How is Bhakti going to impact us? That you will see in Bhakti Tattva. Rasa Tattva, the truth about transcendental mellows, especially the relationship between Krishna and gopis. He discusses on that. Bhagavat Siddhanta, the ultimate conclusion of Bhagavata Purana. When Parikshit Maharaj was cursed to die in 5 days, Parikshit Maharaj gives up his kingdom, gives up his family, and he goes to the banks of Yamuna. And there was a great assembly of sages who had come to bid farewell to Parikshit Maharaj, because Parikshit Maharaj was the emperor of the whole world 5,000 years ago. And his life has been an epitome of devotion. Even before he was born, he saw Krishna when he was within the womb of his mother, Uttara. And he led his life in a very exemplary way. So when he was cursed to die in next 7 days, everyone knew in the world. He was a great devotee even before he was born, great devotee during the time when he was alive, and now he is going to die, so he is going to leave his body in an exemplary way. So all great personalities from all over the universe assembled there. And Parikshit Maharaj, taking a very humble stance, he asks them, I'm going to die in another 7 days. Please tell me, what is my duty now? Srila Prabhupada says that it is the etiquette when we approach a senior devotee to inquire, to ask questions. And you will see this particular quality being exhibited by many devotees, including Krishna's own father, Vasudev. When he sees Narada Muni, he puts himself in a very, very humble position and he says, I'm a grahastha, I'm a slave of my senses, I'm entangled in these material complexities, kindly instruct me. Says who? The father of Krishna. How can he be entangled? But he follows the etiquette. Yudhishthir Maharaj, who is the head of the Pandavas, when he sees Narada Muni, he would ask. So you would see this trait of the devotees. Whenever they see another devotee, whenever they see somebody who is spiritually more advanced, they would go inquire submissively. Now, why is a devotee asking sometimes the same question even though they knew the answers for those questions? Inquiry here doesn't necessarily just mean inquiry about the knowledge. That's just one aspect of it. Materially you don't know something, you Google or you ask someone, they teach you, now you can say, okay, I know that topic. But in bhakti, because of the nature of bhakti, because of the ever-expanding glories of bhakti, limitless glories of bhakti, there is always a room for us to learn new things. There is always a room to learn the same thing from a different perspective completely. So if you see sometimes Parikshit Maharaj would ask a question, and in response to that, Shukadeva Goswami would say, same question had been asked by Narada Muni to his father Brahma. Now question is the same, but the inquirer is different, speaker is different, audience is different, setting is different, situation is also different. Because of all these variables, you will also find answers also being discussed in a much, much more different and much, much more profound way, depending on the audience and depending on the situation.
So in bhakti, we can never say, I know this, because of all these factors here. So here, Bhagavata Siddhanta, the ultimate conclusions of Srimad Bhagavatam, and all the conclusions he heard from Ramananda Roy. Who heard from Ramananda Roy? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu learns from Ramananda Roy. This is also a very famous conversation. We'll discuss later. Prabhupada, before he starts this section of glorifying Srila Rupa Gosvami, Prabhupada mentions Kali Kalera Dharma Krishna Nama Sankirtana Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Tara Pravartana. In order to spread the glories of holy name, which is the Kali Kalera Dharma, which is the Dharma of Kali Yuga, which is to chant the holy name of the Lord. And what is Kali Kalera Dharma? Krishna Nama Sankirtana. In order to spread the glories of the holy name, which is the Dharma for this Kali Yuga, Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Tara Pravartan. One should be empowered with the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In other words, without Krishna Shakti, without the potency of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, without the potency of Sri Sri Radha Gopinath, we can't preach, we can't spread the glories of the holy name. Prabhupada quotes that verse. Prabhupada also mentions another verse in the purport. How Krishna, if he wants to enjoy something, he has his potencies. Like if you're feeling hungry, you have to first get up from your seat here, go to the restaurant area, pick up a plate, get it served by someone, or you serve yourself. You have to go, sit down there, and you have to pick up one handful at a time, put in your mouth, you have to chew, then only you can enjoy. Swallow, so much work is involved. If Krishna is hungry, I want breakfast, and that's it. He just need to think. He doesn't even need to think. I'll give you one example, beautiful description that's given of how there is this elephant known as Gajendra. We all know that story. Gajendra was an elephant, king of elephant. Gaja means elephant, Indra means king, Gajendra means king of elephants. So one day, being accompanied by all his associates, he goes, plays water sports, but then all of his associates, they go to the shore. When Gajendra was also making his way to the shore, one of his hind leg, actually in his front leg, is now grabbed by a crocodile, and it starts to chew. There is a tug of war that happens for many, many years, and finally Gajendra is realizing, I'm going to now lose this battle. In other words, I'm going to die. But fortunately, Gajendra, he remembered Purva Janma Smriti. He remembered what he was in his previous life, because he started his bhakti in the previous life itself. He was a great king by name Indradumna, not to be confused with the king Indradumna of Puri. He was a South Indian king, Pandya king if I'm not wrong. So he remembers, and then he glorifies Vishnu. So as he sings, he remembers the prayers which he had recited in previous life. He is starting in that situation, very trying circumstances, feeling excruciating pain. He recites those verses. Description is given. Until that point, Vishnu is there in Vaikuntha, lying on his serpent bed, Anantasesh, his lotus feet being massaged by Lakshmiji. Gajendra, as he was feeling all this pain, he is saying, oh cause means Karana, one who is the reason for everything that's happening here. When he starts to say that, Brahma and Shiva thought he is calling us. So Shiva started to come, and Nandi, bull, goes a little slow, he starts to come. Brahma is also flying in the swan. Okay, our help is needed, he is calling us. And then he says, Karana Karanam. Then they make a U-turn and they go back. We are the cause, but we are not the cause of all causes. Now Vishnu is also hearing the prayer, closing his eyes, lotus feet being massaged by Lakshmiji. Karana, he also thinks Shiva and Brahma will take her. Karana Karanam. Description is given, Lakshmiji is massaging his feet. Suddenly the feet is gone. He is already gone. Flying on Garuda. So Garuda is coming. Vishnu is like, no, this elephant is calling me. So Vishnu comes. Last week we were discussing about the mudra. Mudra means the position of the hands. This is pranama mudra or pranama hasta. This is abhaya hasta or abhaya mudra. He said Srimati Radharani. We see Prabhupada is in pranama mudra. So when you see deities, you can see different times. When you see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's hands like this, he's Nitai Sachi Sutta, he's in dancing pose. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like this, if you go to a place in Navadvip known as Koladvipa, this is Dameshwar Mahaprabhu. So this is the home of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's in-laws. Vishnupriya Mataji, she is his eternal consort, and this is her home, parents' home. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes to that home, he is the son-in-law who has come there, so they would pamper him, decorate him like a prince. So if you go now, even now you can see the beautiful deity that was made by Vishnupriya, and he stands like this, very sweetly. I'll share that in the WhatsApp group. If you do any aparadha, you can always pray to Dameshwar Mahaprabhu. This particular form, he is known as Dameshwar Mahaprabhu. He is in Koladvipa. So you can, sometimes you offend the devotees, sometimes you may offend holy names, sometimes you may offend the deities. You can pray. Now if we offend the devotees, only devotees can forgive you. But you pray to Dameshwar Mahaprabhu, he will facilitate so that you can still go and approach the devotee, and you can do. Many times you offend the devotee, but you don't know where to start. You may think it only makes situation worse if I go and approach. So Dameshwar Mahaprabhu is very merciful. This is Tarka Mudra, debating pose. Like that, there is one, if you observe the deities, South Indian deities, you will see many Vishnu temples in Divya Kshetra. There is one mudra known as Prayoga Mudra. If you see Krishna killing Shishupal, you can see Krishna's hand like that, Prayoga Mudra, which means if Krishna raises his finger, who appears? Sudarshana Chakra appears. If his hand is like this, if his hand turns like this, means don't come in his front. He is about to hurl it. Okay, this is known as Prayoga, about to execute. Prayoga Mudra. So Vishnu is flying in Garuda, and there he sees the scene. All the elephant associates, they are helplessly crying, hoping that something or someone would save their king. They tried to pull him, couldn't. Gajendra tried to pull himself out of the waters, couldn't. Finally he surrendered to Krishna and he prayed to him. Krishna appears and he sees the scene here. And there he says, here is my devotee who has called me for my help in this most testing situation. I should rescue him immediately. Thinking like this, Vishnu brings his hand in Prayoga Mudra form, which means he is about to hurl. But then when he brings it, lo behold, there was no Sudarshana Chakra there. As soon as he thought I had to save, Sudarshana has already left his hand, killed, and as he is racing ready to hurl, Sudarshana is actually coming and landing in slow motion. Job done, my lord. Satya Sankalpa. If he desires something, it will happen like that. Prabhupada says, God is he whose every desires are fulfilled. One of Krishna's qualities is Atmarama. Atmarama means one who is self-satisfied. There is another word that is used, Aptakama. Aptakama means he whose every desires get fulfilled. How do they get fulfilled? Prabhupada, to explain that point, he quotes another verse. It's a long verse. Tam Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram Tam Daivatanam Paramam Shadevatam Patim Patinam Paramam Parastat Vidama Devam Bhuvanesham Idyam Natasya Karya Karanam Cha Vidyate Natat Samaschabi Adikasya Drishyate Parashya Shaktir Vividaiva Shruyate Svabhaviki Jnana Balakriyasha. Krishna has got multivarious energies. Ichha Shakti. He is desiring potency. He desires something. All his servants, which are different energies, they'll be at his beck and call. As soon as he thinks, he goes. As soon as he thinks, I want that, the energy or the associate of the Lord goes, fulfill, and then they come. Another instance it's given in Dwaraka, when Krishna is playing the game of dice, we are not allowed to play. If you play, it's gambling. Krishna can do. Krishna is playing a game of dice with his queen. At that time, there was one king of Kashi, he is coming and waging war. And all his servants, commanders in chief, they are waiting to see just some indication of consent so they can counterattack. They were waiting. Krishna, as he is playing, he just raised his eyebrows like this and then he continues to play. That much was enough for Sudarshana again to go vanquish everyone, burn the city of Kashi and come back. My Lord, it's done. That's how quick his desires get fulfilled. So, dealing with spiritual energy is possible only if we have empowerment of Lord Sri Krishna, of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Tara Pravartan. We need to have, take it up. We need to have the empowerment of Krishna. We need to have mercy of Krishna in order for us to do anything in our bhakti. We can't worship him without being infused with this potency. We can't serve him without being infused with this potency. Sometimes you may think, I'm distributing books is very hard. It is hard. Singing kirtan is hard. It is hard. Until you attract the mercy of the Lord. How do we attract the mercy of the Lord? By being humble, by being submissive, by approaching everything in a prayerful mood. Then we can. So here, Rupa Goswami is about to embark on a journey, literally as well as spiritually. He is on his way to Vrindavan. It's on his way to Vrindavan that he meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Prayagraj. He is also now just come out of his government service. Now he is entering into the next phase of his life. Now he is seeking blessings from Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is giving him mercy, potency, and then instruction. What instruction he gives, we'll see it shortly. Shri Rupa Hridaya Prabhu Shakti Sancharila Sarva Tattva Nirupane Pravina Karila. Srila Prabhupada explains, one of the prayers we sing in Mangalacharan is Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam means Rupa Goswami knows the inner feelings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he took those inner feelings as his instructions and he established those instructions everywhere. Meaning he fulfilled that instructions. When will I get the shelter of the lotus feet of such Rupa Goswami? That's what that verse means. Many times we recite verse without knowing the meaning. Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. When will I get the shelter of the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami? That's what it means. So here he is saying Sri Rupa Hridaye Prabhu Sakti Sancharila. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered into the heart of Rupa Goswami. There is a famous story of Durvasa Muni trying to curse Ambarish Maharaj, trying to harm Ambarish Maharaj. At that time, Ambarish Maharaj just, as usual, he remembers Krishna, but then again, Sudarshana Chakra comes to his protection. Even when Vishnu is in Nidra, Yoga Nidra, in fact, that's what happens there. Here we see an instance where Vishnu is thinking, I need to save Gajendra. He is raising his finger. From that position to here, Sudarshana has already finished the job and he is coming back. In Ambarish Maharaj's case, it's one step further. Vishnu is in Yoga Nidra. And then Sudarshana Chakra is like looking, hey, this is pure devotee. Durvasa is going to harm. He didn't even wait for his permission. He just leaves it straight away. Because Vishnu had told him, when my pure devotees are in danger, don't even wait for me. And then he starts to chase, brings Durvasa Muni all the way to Vaikunta. So he comes. Again, there also you will see Vishnu speaking about how he is in the heart of his pure devotees. Sadhavo hridayam mayam. Sadhunam hridayam tvaham. Madanya tena jananti naham tebhyo managapi. Sadhavo hridayam mayam. The devotees always reside in my heart. Sadhunam hridayam tvaham. I also live in the heart of my devotees. Mad anyat tena jananti. Mad means me. Anyat means anything beyond me. Mad anyat tena jananti. My devotees don't know anyone. They know only me. Naham tebhya managapi. I also know no one but only my devotees. He says this to Durvasa Muni. So, Krishna has that intimate feelings. Very intimate reciprocation with his devotees. So, it's very important that when we practice bhakti, we understand we are not alone. We may face ups and downs. Sometimes we wake up very enthusiastic. Yes, today I'm going to chant. Sometimes you feel, is the clock working fine? Why is the morning coming so soon? Happens. Sometimes you wake up, the person who you want to forget in life will be the first person that springs up in your mind. Why you? Happens. We don't have any control. That's why we have Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti means we practice bhakti based on certain rules and regulations, irrespective of what we feel. When Prabhupada was teaching his early disciples, there was one, I think Gargamuni Prabhu. He had just got initiated, and then when Prabhupada comes into the room, everyone bows down, he stands. And Prabhupada says, everyone is showing respect to spiritual master. Why are you not bowing down? And he said, Swamiji, I'm not having the feeling. Prabhupada says, don't worry, bow down, feelings will come. Sometimes even when we come to the temple, my mind is already disturbed. Even if I go to the temple, without a proper consciousness, how can I even worship God? You know what? I won't go to temple today. No. Now you have all the more reason to go to temple. Because you are already disturbed, push yourself to just come here. And then Radha Gopinath will do his magic. When you go out, you will feel happy. And you will feel so happy that, thank God, I didn't listen to my mind. How many of you have that experience? Happens. So Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti means it's just based on rules and regulations. Your feelings come later, much later. If we have to think about our feelings, do you think our mind will ever say, be austere, fast? Do you think your mind will ever say? Will your mind ever say, get out of your bed? No. Your boss may say, get out of the bed and come back, join the shift on time, like that. So here, Rupa Hridaye Prabhu. Just like how Vishnu is saying, I'm in the heart of my pure devotees, devotees are in my heart. Similarly, Caitanya Mahaprabhu entered into the heart of his pure devotee. In this case, Srila Rupa Gosvami. Now, after entering into the heart, what did he teach? This is described by Kavikarnapura. Kavikarnapura is one of the sons of Shivananda Sena. These days the devotees go to Yatra, to Vrindavan, Mayapur, Puri. So there will be one organizing devotee who would book the flight tickets, book the rooms, book transportation, everything. Shivananda Sena was doing that for all the devotees in Navadvip Dham year after year when they go and spend 3 to 4 months in Puri. So he is the organizer. And Shivananda Sena was one of the intimate associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he was blessed with a beautiful son, in fact Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blesses him and his wife that he will be blessed with a very beautiful devoted son. So this boy he brings after the baby is born and he is in a crawling phase. And he sees Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he lets him down. This boy crawls, grabs the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and sucks his toe. Because of that, he ended up becoming one of the greatest Kavirajas. Kavirajas means great devotional poets. He has written many work. Gaura Ganedosha Deepika. You'll come across sometimes references. Advaita Acharya in Gaura Lila is Mahavishnu and Lord Shiva. Like that you will come across. Nityananda Prabhu in Vrajalila, in Gaura Lila is Balaram in Vrajalila. That mapping. Gaura Ganedosha Deepika. That book is written by Kavi Karnapura. One of the famous work of drama, which is in a form of a poem, it's known as Caitanya Chandrodaya Nataka. Nataka means drama. Caitanya is Lord Caitanya. Caitanya Chandra means the moon of Lord Caitanya. Chandra Udaya, the rising of the moon of Lord Caitanya. That's what it means, literally. So there he glorifies. Kalena vrinda vanakeli varta lupte titam kya paitum vishashya kripamritena bishishesha devas tatraiva rupam cha sanatanam cha. Kalena. If you read the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks a similar verse. 4.1, Krishna says, I instructed this imperishable science of Bhakti Yoga to the sun god Vivaswan. Imam Vivashvate Yogam Proktavanaham Avyayam Vivaswan Manave Praha Manu Ikshvagave Abravit. I instructed this imperishable science of Bhakti Yoga to the sun god whose name is Vivaswan. Vivaswan instructed to his son Manu. We currently live in the rule of Vaivashvata Manu. There are 14 Manus in the day of Lord Brahma. Each Manu have got their names. Vaivashvata Manu got his name because son of Vivaswan is Vaivashvata. So I gave this to Vivaswan. Vivaswan gave it to Manu. Manu in turn, he gave it to Ikshvaku, who is his son. So in this way, the great saintly kings understood this science of Bhakti Yoga through the Parampara, disciplic succession. Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarishayo Viduhu. That's what it means. In this way, the science of devotional service has come from Guru to disciple, and the disciple in turn becomes Guru, gives it to his disciple, so on and so forth. It comes. Sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. But in due course of time, as with everything, this science appears to be lost. So here also, Kalena Vrindavana Keli Varta. When Krishna came and performed the Leela in Vrajabhumi, everyone got attracted to it. Everyone was glorifying, singing about it. But then, Kalena Vrindavana Keli Varta. Lupteti means, time has taken it away. It has already stole it away. Lupta. Because of the duration of the time, over the course of time, this Leela which Krishna performed in Vrindavan almost came to be lost. So in order to re-establish that, Kripa Amritena Bishishesha Devas. Tatraiva Rupam cha Sanatanam cha. So that science which was almost lost 500 years ago, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kripa Amritena, by the nectar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, Rupa and Sanatana re-established it again. If you go back and study Shastras, even information about gopis, information about even Krishna's parents, Krishna's cows, they were not available before 500 years. Not readily available. Only after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed to Rupa Gosvami, when Goswamis started to write, that's when it started to become prominent. Otherwise, until that point, people don't even know. You go to South India, rarely you will come across Radha Krishna temple in my state. There's trust me, there's 100,000 temples in my state. Ancient temples. 3,000 years, 2,000 years, 1,000 years. For a start. Only recently I found, I come from a place, Tanjavur, which is 60 kilometers from Srirangam. Only recently I found even the name Tanjavur came from a demon. I'm like, oh, then Vishnu appeared and killed him. Usually demons have one good quality. At the time of death, they'll say, please name this place after me. Gaya, that's how it came, from Gayasura. Tanjavur also came from one demon. I'm like, hey, Vishnu has come. There also. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came just 60 kilometers away. Trishira, you will come across this three-headed demon. There is a place called Trichirapalli, which is 40 kilometers from my place. And that place is associated with this Trishira demon. I'm like, hey, I have heard about you before. But even there, so many temples, barely one or two you will see depiction of Srimati Radharani, because they were built before 500 years. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made it known. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's direct disciples, they made it known. Goswamis made it known. They gave the information. This is Krishna's father's name, Krishna's mother's name. This is Krishna's eternal consort's name. This is the name of the Ashtasaki's name. This is the name of Krishna's cows. We are born as much as we think, oh, how nice it would have been if I was born before. But actually, we wouldn't have known any of this information. We wouldn't have known anything about Krishna. Very little bit. And we would also be in a confused state, as most of the people are, until they come in contact with Shastras. So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he infused that potency within the heart of Tatra Rupam cha Sanatanam cha. Within the heart of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, he is infusing that potency. Now you elaborate on it. And then he says, Lord Chaitanya's mercy on Rupa, from the very beginning, Rupa Goswami was attracted by Lord Chaitanya's qualities. The very first book I read in Krishna consciousness is Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Second book, Nectar of Devotion. After that I came to Bhagavad Gita. I did everything ulta. I sometimes think lack of guidance. But you read, you can still understand. Some part of it you will still be able to understand. Getting attracted to qualities of Krishna. If you read Chaitanya Caritamrita, you may not know who is Lord Chaitanya, you may not know who is Krishna, nothing. You just read Chaitanya Caritamrita, your mind will naturally conclude, if a person can conduct himself like this, has to be God. You will naturally come to that conclusion. You read it, like I've shared this before. When I read the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when I was reading, very first time, just the translation, Gorakhpur Press edition, it had translation, pocket size. I was reading, when I came to like one section, I was thinking, in the 10th chapter, even to talk something like that, only God can talk. I was very clear, this person has to be God. Likewise, you read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sometimes you may think, Krishna I can accept as God. Even Indians, people who know much about Vedic culture, or at least a little in Vedic culture, even they don't know who is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Most of them don't know. But you simply read Chaitanya Charitamrita, if you read with an open mind, forget about faith, forget about devotee association, forget about anything. You read it objectively. You will come to the conclusion, only God can conduct himself like this. Impossible. How he enacted his pastimes as a devotee. How he had this exemplary dealings with each and every one of those personalities. The depth of his knowledge. The consideration he gives to each and every one of them. Recently I was having a meeting with our youth. I was sharing one pastime. We'll see it later. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to defeat someone, even in debate, if they are somebody who is of close acquaintance to him, he will do in public as a joke. And they'll have good fun. But there is one instance when there was a Digvijay Pandit by name Keshava Kashmiri. He comes. Chaitanya the Pandits of Navadvipa, they thought if we engage with him, this Pandit will defeat us. So they came up with an idea. They put forth to the local king, instead of us having to debate with this Digvijay Pandit, get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to do. Nimai Pandit, 14 years old. Their point is, if Nimai defeats him, then we can still say Nimai is our student. See, even our student can defeat you. We would have easily defeated you. If Nimai gets defeated, Digvijay Pandit will still get the title and he'll move, because in any place he goes, he will debate with only one poet. So if he gets defeated, their conclusion is, we can still say, anyway, he's just a little child. In short, they didn't want to face Digvijay Pandit here. That's the point. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew nobody is match for him. He also knew that the ego of Keshava Kashmiri is sky high. So what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? A day before the debate, when Keshava Kashmiri, who is the Digvijay Pandit, Digvijay means, Dig means directions, Vijay means victorious. Whichever direction he goes, he has always come victorious. Then he gets the title Digvijay Pandit. So here, when he goes for a stroll on the banks of Ganga on the day before the debate, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu intercepts him there, when they both were alone. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shows his respects to him and he says, I've heard so much about you. Can you please sing songs? Can you please compose a song glorifying Mother Ganga? So then it's given in Chaitanya Caritamrita, in Kali Yuga, Krishna appeared in two forms, in wooden form, in water form. Wooden form is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, water form is Mother Ganga. There are a lot of pastimes associated with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu with Mother Ganga. So Keshava Kashmiri, instantly he recites not one verse, 100 verses. Now, hold on. That's not so wonderful. What's wonderful is what I'm about to say. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu memorized all those 100 verses. As he just hears him say, I don't know whether even the Digvijay Pandit will be able to repeat it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu memorizes, goes to each one of those lines and points out about the philosophical depth, points out about the literary ornamentations that's there, points out about the redundancy, points out about the appropriate usage of Sanskrit grammar. He dissects every verse, and at one of the verses he checkmates him and he defeats him. Keshava Kashmiri gets stunned. He's only 14 years old. I'm Digvijay Pandit. I compiled so many verses, he memorized all of them. Not only memorized all of them, he was able to again repeat everything. And as he was repeating each one of those lines, he is able to point out the grammatical issues also there. So he defeats him like this. My Guru Maharaj says, he could have easily done that in public next day itself. Somebody who can challenge him like that, he could have done it very easily. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is very, very soft-hearted. He doesn't want to defeat his ego, because he would commit suicide. He just can't handle defeat in public, that Digvijay Pandit. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes him alone, defeats him there, teaches him a lesson, and allows him to come to his realization. That night he goes and he prays to Mother Saraswati. Oh, my dear Saraswati, I've always worshipped you. Did I do any aparadh? Why did you let me down? Then Mother Saraswati says, shut up, that's my Lord. You are trying to debate with today. Go back to him. And then he falls at the feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You will see similar mood Krishna is demonstrating. After Krishna lifted Govardhan hill for 7 days and nights, Krishna defeated Indra fair and square. He puts the hill exactly in the same spot. If I mark the borders of the place where this stand is actually staying there, and I ask you to place it, we'll still find it hard to put it right exactly. Move this side, move that side, it won't go exact same spot. But when Krishna lifted Govardhan hill, he's putting it back, he put it in exact same line. And then from there, Krishna goes to a secluded place, little bit further, away from his friends, cows, gopis, parents, everyone. Why? Because Krishna knew what is going on in Indra's heart. Indra is defeated now. Indra is feeling, I have committed aparadh, big aparadh. I have to seek forgiveness. Now Krishna is already a Vrindavan hero. If he is seated there and Indra comes and worship him, his glory would have been spread far and wide in Vrajabhumi, no doubt. But what would that do to Indra? Krishna is considerate for him. So to allow Indra to still come and seek forgiveness from him, but without getting his ego hurt, Krishna goes to a secluded place alone. And he sits, Indra comes, offers prayers, Krishna blesses him, Indra gives him the name Govinda and he goes back. Indra is happy, Krishna is also happy. This is how considerate Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. Nobody can think like that. Correct? If somebody, especially what Indra did was atrocious. Okay, he uses Samvartaka cloud, totally unfair use of weapons against, they are not even Kshatriyas to fight, they are not even fighting, they are helpless people. Cows are there. Brahmanas were there, old people were there, kids were there. He broke literally every principle. Still Krishna is considerate to him. So when we read Chaitanya Caritamrita very objectively, you don't need to think this is God, this Prabhu said or this Mataji said I have to read. No. Simply read this, you will understand. You will naturally come to the conclusion, if a person can act like this, if a person can demonstrate devotion like this, if a person can exude such deep Vaishnava qualities, has to be God. It's impossible. Then he goes, Rupa Goswami's exaltedness. Priya Swarupe, Daita Swarupe, Prema Swarupe, Sahajabi Rupe, Nijanu Rupe, Prabhureka Rupe, Tatana Rupe, Swavilasa Rupe. He plays with words. Here Rupe refers to Rupa Goswami. So Kavikarnapura, he says, Priya Swarupe. Rupa Goswami is very dear to Swarup Damodar Goswami. Swarup Damodar Goswami is Lalita Shaki in Vrajalila. He is the personal secretary of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If anybody wants to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it has to go through Swarup Damodar Goswami. If anyone wants to meet Srimati Radharani, it has to go through Lalita Shaki. So, Priya Swarupe, Daita Swarupe, he is very dear to Swarup Damodar, Daita Swarupe. He is very dear to the Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. Prema Swarupe, he is the exact replica or embodiment of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's love. That love comes to us as instructions. So when we pick up, Prabhupada said, nectar of devotion is incarnation of Srimati Radharani herself. Prabhupada glorifies about nectar of devotion in nectar of devotion also, as well as you will see later in Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. Rupa Goswami is the embodiment of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's love. Gift of Rupa Goswami are all these literary works which he has given. Nectar of Devotion, one of the most prominent books we read. Priya Swarupe, Daita Swarupe, Prema Swarupe, Sahajabi Rupe. One, because he is carrying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu within his heart, Sahajabi Rupe means even Rupa Goswami was very beautiful. That's what it means. Nijanu Rupe. Anu means, whenever you come across this word, Anu means to follow. So, like Raga Anuga Bhakti. Bhavatiti Anushishruma. Arjuna says in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so Anu, whenever this word Anu comes, it's following. So here it's given Nijanu Rupe. This Rupa Goswami, he is not just beautiful, not just dear to Swarup Damodar Goswami and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not just being, he is an embodiment of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nijanu Rupe, one who is a strict follower of the instructions of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhu Reka Rupe, Tatana Rupe, Swavilasa Rupe. He re-established the glories of Vrindavana, the place Swavilasa. Vilasa means the playful pastimes. The place of the playful pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna. That's what it means. So he is glorifying like this. Priya Swarupe, Daita Swarupe, Prema Nurupe, Sahajabirupe, Nijanurupe, Prabhur Ekarupe, Tatanarupe, Swavilasarupe. So he is reciting those three verses from Ravi Karnapura's Caitanya Chandrodaya Nataka. And then the section concludes about the glorious qualities of Rupa and Sanatana. Rupa and Sanatana, they are the objects of love and honor, Kripa Gaurava Patra, for all the great stalwart devotees of the Lord. They are always the object of mercy. When Rupa Goswami, later on you will see, Rupa Goswami and Chaitanya and Sanatana Goswami, both of them would come to Puri. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would ask all the devotees to bless him. Swarup Damotar would ask all the devotees to bless them, and all the Vaishnavas would bless them. Then they both go back again to Vrindavan. So they would meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again later in Puri. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would invite them. First you go to Vrindavan, follow these instructions, and then you visit sometime. Even though they are residing in Vrindavan most of the time during when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, whenever anyone visits Vrindavan and comes back, they would inquire about Rupa and Sanatana, the devotees in Puri, devotees in Navadvipa. They would say, if someone returned from Vrindavana, the Lord's associates would ask him, how are Rupa and Sanatana doing? How do they practice renunciation, eat and perform Sri Krishna bhajana 24 hours daily? Praise of Rupa Sanatana. Persons coming from Vrindavana, in answer to these questions, they would reply, Aniketa. Niketa means residence. Aniketa means no residence. They don't have any fixed residence. They move from under one tree today, next tree tomorrow, next tree tomorrow. Prabhupada says, this is the standard of pure devotees. Because they don't even want to get attached to being under the same tree. So they keep moving. And when they carry their deities, they would just carry them around their shoulders. You know, sometimes in India you can see it. Here also sometimes I've seen. They carry baby. They just like wrap a cloth and the baby would be seated inside. So they would carry their deities like that. So when they go and they decide, okay, this is the tree I'm going to stay under this night, they would hang that on the tree branch. Sanatana Goswami's deities are Madan Mohanji, Sri Radha Madan Mohanji. So he would hang him in that cloth like a hammock, and he would happily be there. Daytime he would accept Madhukari. Madhukari means just like how the bees, honeybees, they go to different flowers, collect little bit, like that they would go beg from some homes, different homes, just like how honeybee is going. So after they collect food, what Sanatana Goswami would do is, he would mix it with some water from Yamuna and leave it in the sun, and he will continue with this bhajan or continue with this literary work. And then when in the sun the mix of that dough becomes like a patty, then he would put in front of Madan Mohanji and he would ask him, please accept this. Madan Mohanji found it very austere. No salt, no sabji, no nothing. Just some dried atta, which is like a flour, mixed with some water and like sun dried, and that's it. So one day he says to Sanatana Goswami, I understand, you are not in a position to do, at least mix a little salt, And Sanatana Goswami tells him, today you will ask for salt. Tomorrow you would ask for sabji. Day after tomorrow you ask for ghee. Sorry sir, please be austere and accept whatever I am offering. I have my duty to perform for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they had no fixed residence. Aniketa, Madhukari, they beg little food from Brahmanas. They take only dry bread and fried chickpeas. If you go to Vrindavan, you will still see. You go to any grocery store, you will still see it. Krishna Bhajana, 24 hours. They always chant Krishna's name, discuss his pastimes, dance, sleeping only an hour and a half or not even that. Bhakti Rasa Shastra, they write transcendental literatures about Bhakti. Chintana, they hear about Lord Chaitanya and think about him. So these are the different ways. They are without fixed residence, they beg food, they engage in Krishna Bhajana 24 hours, they write transcendental literatures about Bhakti, and they constantly hear and think about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when these stalwart devotees, when they would hear the reply of those pilgrims coming from Vrindavan, describing about the glories of Rupa and Sanatana, they would say, Chaitanyera kripayane tanhe hi vishmaya. For someone who had received the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is so wonderful to achieve? Which means, if somebody gets the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is nothing impossible to achieve. I mentioned this in the very first class. Katanchana smritayasmin dushkaram shukaram bhavet vishmrite viparitam syat Sri Chaitanyam namamitam. Even the most difficult things become very easy if we remember Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And even the most easy things become difficult if we forget. So all we have to do is just remember. You can try. It's one of those verses which I always try to remember because life is difficult. This is difficult, that is difficult, waking up is difficult, sleeping not difficult, everything. All we have to do is simply remember the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Katanchana smritayasmin dushkaram shukaram bhavet. Dushkaram means difficult. Shukaram means very easy. We simply have to remember Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You are finding it hard to chant your rounds, just remember. You are finding it hard to have good relationships with the devotees, just remember Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You are finding it hard to stay awake in the class, remember Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you are still awake. Mercy on Rupa. Rupa Goswami feels so much empowerment from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami himself writes in his Mangalacharan of Nectar of Devotion. He says, Hridiyasya praranaya pravartitoham varakopi tasya hare padakamalam vande Chaitanya devasya. Hridiyasya, inside the heart. Praranaya means inspiration. Pravartitoham, Rupa varakopi. He says, Hridyasya Praranaya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the one who entered in my heart, gave me inspiration. Pravartitoham varako rupopi. To an insignificant person called Rupa, which is, he is speaking about him. Tasya hare padakamalam. To that Lord's lotus feet. Vande Chaitanya devasya. To that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, who is non-different from Hari, I offer my respects. So this is how Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami glorifies Rupa and Sanatana, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inspired them, gave them instructions, and told them to re-establish the worship of Krishna, Vrajendranandan Krishna, glorify all the gopis, glorify all the devotees of Krishna, selfless devotees of Krishna. And this mission he empowers. And then you will see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructing on each one of these aspects that we discussed earlier about Krishna Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Rasa Tattva, Bhagavata Siddhanta, and all conclusions. He gives it to Rupa Goswami, he gives it to Sanatana Goswami. This section is almost like Vedic cosmology. The more you read, more you will get confused. But more you will understand also. Okay, so I request you to be patient as we go through. We'll take another at least 6-7 classes to cover these instructions for rest of the chapter, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives to Srila Rupa Goswami. He gives him the conclusion. Just like how, if you see how Lord Brahma created the 14 planetary systems, Krishna just played the flute. And the flute, Krishna is in the heart. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kaviya. He is coolly playing the flute, and that flute carried that instructions in encrypted form and comes as Gayatri, Brahma Gayatri. Gayatri, when Brahma expanded, he understood that this is the blueprint of the 14 planetary system. He just creates everything. That's how intelligent Brahma is also. For us, if somebody tells us something, they have to publish a dictionary to also explain to us what it means. But Brahma is so intelligent, he just hears the Gayatri once, he decodes it, and then he takes that as the blueprint and he creates the 14 planetary system. Same way here to Rupa Goswami, he is giving the conclusions of all these scriptures, asking Rupa Goswami, now you elaborate it. That's how we get nectar of instruction. that small book, 11 instructions, Nectar of Devotion, and so many others. Lalita Madhava, Vidagdha Madhava, you name it. Sanatana Goswami also you will come across. Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Leelastava, Padyavali, that's one great anthology of poems that's compiled by Rupa Goswami, so on and so forth. I'll stop here. Any questions or comments? Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai, Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Sri Shri Gauranitai ki jai, Sri Caitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Samaveda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.